Welcome to this YouTube channel. I've been talking about this for so long. Hopefully it's not an echo in here. It feels like it's an echo. But I've been talking about this for so long. Luckily, my mother has been helping me out, y'all. It's a long story. But I kind of want to talk to you about that today. So, in 2020 of last year, what a year it was, okay? Let's just start by saying that. Oh, it was 2021. Look, she just had to remind me that it was 2021. Okay, I might still be living up in 2020 because COVID did a number on me, just saying. But in 2021, it was a long year starting out with that might come on the thing, Mom. Okay. So in 2021, it was a long year, along with a lot of new experiences in life, a lot of change, it brought me closer to friends and family. So, I mean, it was some good things that came out of 2021, but it was also one thing in particular that I'm going to talk about. So, in August of last year, I had some issues. Well, actually, starting in May, I had some issues with my knee. And, whew, as a lot of people may not know this actually, but I used to be a pole performer and pole instructor. So for a living, I needed my legs and I needed my knees to work and make money. But in May, I had an injury, a knee injury, and I thought it was minor, but later on, it started to get worse because I thought maybe I just, fell on it wrong or something. I thought it would just heal over time, but it did not. So it started to swell up. By the time of August, it was like really swollen. So something told me I needed to go to the doctor and go get this looked at. And honestly, I thought it was just probably fluid in my knee, but we went in and the doctors told me, well, they did an x-ray first, which I felt like the x-ray was not what I needed. I needed more of an MRI, but at that location that I had went to, they didn't offer MRIs, which I thought was a little weird considering the fact that that hospital in particular it was more specialized in leg injuries. So I was like, why does this one not have an MRI machine? So they just did an x-ray. Then he came in and he was acting weird, like really weird. And I just kind of felt like it was some bad news, but he was just basically like, he's never seen this before and he didn't know what was going on. So he told me that he sent the pictures off to another person, someone who is a specialist as well in legs. I don't understand how he would know if he is a specialist, but he sent them off to someone else, and the guy told me, he later called me that day, and he was like, well, I sent him off to my friend, and he said, you need to come into UAMS and get a second opinion. And he was like, I feel like this is a case of cancer. And I was like, I was so hurt. I remember coming home and was just like, what the heck? I actually cried that day. I didn't want to do nothing either. I remember I went with a friend, and that friend was very helpful actually because I wanted to stay in bed like for a couple days, but he was like, I'm gonna give you 1 day to like wallow. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I got up and I got moving. But I did not go get it checked out soon as possible, which I should have. So come forward to October, and that's when I was like actually diagnosed with it. We went into the emergency room because my knee was not getting any better. And at that point, I was not even walking on my leg just to like save it from having like being in pain. So we finally went in to the emergency room and they kept me in the hospital, and that was the scariest thing to me because I have never stayed a night in the hospital. And luckily, the experience wasn't as bad as I thought. I don't know why, like, I feel like when I think of hospitals and staying overnight, I think of zombies for some reason. The only reason I think of zombies because I'm like, what if I get stuck in a hospital and it's like a zombie apocalypse and now I'm stuck to a bed? Okay, anyway, but yeah, I don't know. I watched too many zombie movies, maybe too many zombie shows, but anyway. So I stayed overnight so we went in on that Friday. Then the Monday we had scheduled a biopsy, and that is when I found out that I actually had, well, it was 2 weeks later because it takes like 2 weeks to get the stuff back or whatever. But that is how I found out. Oh, and yeah, so we started. So the first doctor that I met with was actually the one that was going to be working on my leg. So with this specific cancer, which is called an osteosarcoma, with this specific cancer, I had to have surgery on my knee. And so when he did the biopsy, actually, I'm skipping like a lot of steps, but when he actually did the biopsy, he told me that it was a chance of amputation, but it's also a way to keep your leg. I would get a new knee replacement, and yeah, but at the time when someone tells you that it's a possibility your leg can get amputated, that's like all that was like going through my head. Like I didn't even hear knee replacement, you know what I'm saying? So it was like a super scary moment for me. And also like I said, I've never been in a hospital, so also at this time they're telling me they're gonna put me to sleep. I was like freaking out. Freaking out. Like, I've never been put to sleep in my life. So, honestly, that was like, I don't know how to explain that experience being put to sleep. It's kind of like interesting. I kind of like it because it's almost in a sense like you try to fight it. Like I go in and I'm like trying to fight to stay up. And they count down like from 10, and like I couldn't even make it to 1, of course. I think I maybe made it to like 6 and then I was out. Like, and what's the nice part about it, like you go out and then you just wake up in this like recovery room. You're like, whoop, oh, hello, okay, everything's done. Then you look around and you're looking at where they had did the procedure and you're like, wow, okay, don't feel that. Yeah. So that part's kind of interesting. Yeah. I will be talking about my knee surgery too for a later video, but I kind of want to talk about where I was and stuff when I got that diagnosis. it definitely changed my life for sure. It changed my life. I can't say that, like, I can't say that it was easy because it wasn't, but I can say you can choose how you react to news, because while I did get this news and it is a life-changing thing, it's something you're I mean, people do pass away from this, but it's best to keep your head up. It's just better to keep your head up. I was gonna start talking about my chemo, but I'll do that in like a later video. I just kind of want to get this first video out there and talk about what I was going through around that time, because I kind of fell off and everyone's like, "Where are you?" But yeah, it's about where you are. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in. This is how I got my diagnosis, and next time I'll talk about like chemo, how I felt about losing like my hair, and yeah. Thank you for watching.